Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. This is Kevin Moon from God's Country. It's time for your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's weather. Now, here's my friend, Dr. Don.
Hey, East Alabama and West Georgia. Welcome to your Wednesday. It's Hump Day. We are halfway through the work week. I'm going to let you know when our next chance of rain will come your way and just how warm is it going to be this week. Also let you know about the weather forecast for Friday night high school football, all coming up this morning. Oh, and by the way, we may have some serious trouble in the Gulf of Mexico in about a week. I'll tell you about all of that and more coming up in this morning's edition of your primetime forecast for Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. Dr. Don's weather from the Alpha Weather Center. Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent. Be sure you click that link at the top of this video so you can get that cost-free, no-obligation insurance quote from Jamie Dukas. He can save you some money, and you might win some great prizes from Dr. Don's weather and Alpha agent Jamie Dukas. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about the tropics. First, don't forget to go over to YouTube and hit subscribe and click that little bell so that when we go live for severe weather, you'll be guaranteed to get that push notification. So the tropics have pretty much just lit up now, and we knew that was going to happen at some point, and it is full force out there right now. Now we've got Fiona that's turning back off to the north. Fiona is not going to be much of an issue for the not a direct issue for the United States, though Nova Scotia may catch a rare hurricane as this thing turns off to the north in about a week or so. It may make it up there, or less than a week. It may make it up there to around Nova Scotia. And they don't typically get hurricanes. They do get what's left over from hurricanes from time to time, so that may be interesting. But what Fiona is really doing, it is laying the groundwork for yet another storm system. If you'll look to the south, you'll see that red hatched area. That's where we're really keeping our eyes focused right now, because we have a 90% chance that we are going to see a tropical storm develop in that red hatched area, and then that is going to move off to the west, eventually turn back to the northwest, probably move right across the western tip of Cuba and end up in the Gulf of Mexico in about a week to 9 days or so. And I typically do not pay attention to these models this far in advance, but you got to understand there are several circumstances here that we typically don't see. Normally we don't have so many tropical systems out there, and that actually helps form more tropical systems. And you see the close proximity there between Fiona and this area. So this is concerning somewhat, and this could actually end up being a major weather maker by the time it gets up into the Gulf of Mexico. Let me show you another product here, if I can find it for you. There it is. And this is the GEFS tracks for 98L, and that's the area we're talking about. And you can see there that it's pretty concerning, because we're looking most likely anywhere in the Gulf of Mexico needs to really pay attention to this. But most likely from about Mobile all the way back over to the Florida East Coast should pay particular attention to this as far as the United States is concerned. Most of the models are putting it somewhere between Panama City and Pensacola at the moment, but there are some runs out there that try to bring it back across Florida somewhere around or just north of Tampa. Now, it is absolutely way too early to start being concerned about where the models say this is going to go, because there are a million gazillion things that can happen between now and next week that can alter the ultimate direction of this storm. The glaring message that we're getting now, though, is that we may have a very serious storm in the Gulf of Mexico next week. As to exactly where it's going to make landfall, It's really hard to say. But if you're anywhere along the northern Gulf Coast, the Florida West Coast, really anywhere in Florida, you really need to watch this thing as we go over the next couple of days or so. If the models, the consistency that we're seeing this morning, if that continues into this weekend, then we may get a huge heads up on this storm and have plenty of time to prepare, evacuate, and get ready for it. But just know that it is looking more and more likely that we're going to have a major storm in the Gulf of Mexico next week. Right now, we're looking at the latter part of next week, maybe next weekend. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. When we would start to see the main effects from this along the Gulf Coast regions, potentially of Alabama and Florida, even up into South Alabama, South Georgia, depending on how strong the storm gets. Some of the models are suggesting we may be looking at least a Category 3, if not Category 4, which would be devastating for the Alabama or Florida Gulf Coast regions. But again, not trying to scare everybody, but I'm telling you, we got tremendous consistency out there with the models. It's very unusual to see it this early in the ball game. Plus, we do have Fiona sitting out there that's helping make the environment even better for this to happen. So I think there's a good chance we will see a storm in the Gulf of Mexico in about a week to a week and a half. We're going to follow that for you, and we'll have more here on Dr. Don's Weather. So, a little closer to the house, yesterday we had some surprise thunderstorms. It wasn't completely a surprise. We told you yesterday morning that that was possible. It just wasn't very likely. Well, it became likely across East Alabama and West Georgia yesterday. So we did pick up a little rain, gusty winds, a little thunder and lightning here and there, but that's all gone now. We're looking at a temperature of 68 degrees. High temperature yesterday was 88. Currently have partly cloudy skies. Wind out of the southeast at 1, gusting to 2. Humidity is 99%. Barometric pressure 30.00. We did pick up about 1/4 of an inch of rain yesterday with some of those passing storms there at 5 Points, Alabama, at the East Alabama Bee Company. Sunrise this morning is 6:27. Sunsets at 6:40 this afternoon. We're headed for 91 degrees in Roanoke, Ashland, 92 in Lineville, 91 in Wedowee and Woodland, 90 up in Ranburne. We'll go to about 92 down in Lafayette this afternoon, and Dadeville will top out at 93 degrees. Here's your 6-day forecast from the Alpha Weather Center. Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent. Mostly sunny skies today. There could be a little fog out there this morning and maybe even some mist down around the I-85 corridor, but all that burns off pretty early in the day, and then we go sunny by afternoon. 91 your high, down to 67 for your overnight low. Another hot day for tomorrow. Tomorrow's the final day of summer, and it's going out with a bang. 92 degrees on your Thursday, down to 63 Thursday night. Then we cool off about 10 degrees on Friday. We'll take it. 82. Great night for high school football. That'll be 2 weeks in a row. And then for the weekend, Saturday looking pretty good, 83. Sunday, we'll start to see a few clouds late in the day, maybe a shower or thunder shower late Sunday afternoon into the overnight, and lingering into early Monday morning, but I think most of Monday is going to be just fine. 81 degrees will be your high on Monday. And by that time, certainly by the time we get to the end of the weekend, we're going to have a much better look at what we may have to deal with in the Gulf of Mexico next week. Here's your Southern Union State Community College live Doppler HD radar showing a few light echo returns down there across southeast Alabama, maybe a few showers right along the I-85 corridor just north of Montgomery. A few showers down in Florida. Some pretty big thunderstorms coming across Mobile Bay this morning. If you're down there around Fort Morgan, you're probably hearing and seeing some thunder and lightning just to your north. But across East Alabama and West Georgia, we are looking good this morning. Again, no precipitation out there to speak of. Be sure you follow us over on Twitter at DSTREN1040. We broadcast all of our weather information on Twitter, just as we do on Facebook, YouTube, and at DrDonWX.com. Hey, we're going to be on location Saturday, October 1 in downtown Roanoke. It's Fall on Main. And we are planning on being there with our road show. We're going to be giving away Dr. Don t-shirts. We'll be broadcasting live, hanging out with all you folks and having a good time in downtown Roanoke. So be sure you mark your calendar. That's Saturday week, October 1, Fall on Main in downtown Roanoke. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. I'll see you back in here first thing tomorrow morning. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.